from the Forum in Los Angeles. It's game one of a Western Conference miniseries. Tonight's game features Moses Malone, the NBA's most valuable player 2 years ago, and last season's MVP, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
This is what I would call confrontation basketball for the first time. You try to establish certain things during the season, but now this is outright confrontation.
Well, we said this last Sunday, Bill, that really the last team that Los Angeles wanted to play was Houston because of that guy in the middle, Moses Malone. And we're underway. Game number one of this mini-series. The Los Angeles Lakers, their first step in what they hope will be back-to-back world championship seasons. Magic Johnson, Tom Henderson is on him. He's one of those men that Del Harris has started late in the year. Magic Johnson, and there's Moses Malone, the leading rebounder this year in the NBA, averaging almost 15 per game. And what a performer he is. He just has tremendous desire to get on the boards. Here is Tom Henderson, who played in 2 championship finals with the Washington Bullets. That's off the Magic.
You know what they say, though, about Moses, Bill, is that the reason he gets so many rebounds is he tries to get every rebound possible. And when you try that many, the percentages have to work in your favor. And a lot of guys really don't go after everything.
He studies it, doesn't he, Bill? Like you used to. Studies where those balls come off of the backboard. And here's Billy Pultz, the man known as Whopper. And he puts Houston on top, 2-0 in the early going. Pultz is the man who's come on late this year. He started the final 8 games after being on the bench in the early part of the campaign. Jim Jones. And Jones, who had 21 points Sunday in his final game of the regular season, adds 2 points to the column.
I would think that Jim Jones has got to look to be offensive-minded to make Moses Malone work harder on the defensive end of the court, and that could take something out of his offense.
Robert Reed and Billy Pultz. Reed has been red hot in the late going. He's been averaging over 23 points a game the last 9. Here's Norm Nixon, who missed a couple of games this past week due to the passing away of his grandmother. And that's been a problem for this team, is getting all the component parts together. But Nixon hits that one. It's 4-2 Los Angeles. The Lakers this year at home have been very, very tough. 30 wins, only 11 setbacks. That's off of their pace of last year, which tied an NBA record when they won 37 at home. Mike Dunleavy into Moses Malone. And that's one thing, Bill, they talk about Moses. He's really added a jump shot this year.
And he fights, he works as hard as anyone in the league for position.
Norm Nixon, Reed at 6'8", will play both a guard and a forward. Tommy Henderson out of the University of Hawaii. Rejected, that'll be goaltending on Jim Jones. A most interesting view through sunglasses here. Well, that really threw me a curve.
That's because the lenses were curved.
That's Southern California. That's it right there. You just saw.
I know you, Bill. You fit in here very well.
Right.
8-6. Houston with a 2-point lead and a steal. Dunleavy, one of the most underrated players in this league. He had 48 points in a game earlier this year. Billy Pultz. Pultz with Kareem on him. Off to Moses Malone. It's a long ways out, but he drops it anyway. And it's now 10-6 the Rockets. Moses Malone with 4 points. So Houston's come out here, and they've started out like they've gotten the jitters out of the way in an early stage of the game. Kareem to Norm Nixon, and Darryl Garrettson spots something inside.
Number 24, Houston.
That's going to be Moses Malone picking up the foul away from the basketball.
That is the illegal 3-second defensive violation. Moses stayed in the 3-second lane, wasn't going out to guarding his man, trying to drop off, looking towards helping Kareem. You could see him complaining about it. As Darryl pointed out to me a few weeks back, he has never called a zone violation. It was an illegal 3-second.
Well, that is the technical, and that's the reason Norm Nixon is at the line. So that ends up being a 3-point trip down the floor, and the Rockets now on top, 10-9. Robert Reed at 6'8". Billy Pultz, who's been in 11 straight playoffs with different teams the last 2 years with the Houston Rockets. And there is Billy Pultz. Rebound, Moses Malone. He's horsing the boards. That basket will count, and he's been fouled. And you're going to see that all night long by number 24.
Unless the Lakers make a defensive adjustment.
And what would that be?
Screening out.
Well, here you see him making the move after he had gotten the rebound. Now he clears out a little bit with the left arm. He doesn't hit anybody, but the body contact was there by Jones beforehand. But Moses' effort was made prior to that to get position, and he is the best there is on the offensive board.
13-9. They called him the chairman of the boards. You can understand why. He was second in NBA rebounding last year. This year he captured first. Nixon down the middle, and he's fouled.
Chairman of the boards? That's very creative.
I got that from you, I think.
No, not from
No,
me.
you got that from that. Who was that? There's somebody at halftime that we're going to say. I think he said that.
Right.
Who was that guy?
Brent Musburger at halftime.
That's who it was.
Where is this guy's going to pick on me now?
Where has he been?
I don't know.
Guy has been on hiatus or something.
Well, we're going to have him at halftime. He'll update on what happened last night in that Eastern Conference series, as well as have highlights of the Portland-Kansas City game, as that's game one in the Western Conference semifinals, and also an interesting insight on the story revolving around Los Angeles Rams quarterback Vince Ferragamo. 13-10. The Rockets by 3. Dunleavy. Oh.
Mike told me before the game that he is really shooting the ball, and he loves to play in this building, and there's one of the most underrated guards in the league. A lot of teams would love to have had him.
Dunleavy with 2 fouls. We're coming back and picking up the 2 points. Kareem. I think Jabbar wanted that one. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scoring his first 2 points. Well, there's a familiar face in the crowd, Walter Matthau. Norm Nixon averaging this year against Houston a little over 17 in the previous 5 games. They are concerned about the matchup problems on him because Houston doesn't have real quickness in their backcourt. Moses Malone. Boy, he makes that look easy. Jim Jones has his work cut out for him. 19-14, 9 points already for Malone, who was second in the NBA in scoring this year with a 27.8 average. Nixon, Dunleavy, picking him up. Magic trying to get away from Henderson, and does. But Reed intimidated him on the shot. And Billy Pault's doing a pretty good job on the boards right now. Tom Henderson. 2 years he played in the NBA Finals with the Washington Bullets. Dunleavy. Robert Reed. Magic Johnson with the rebound. Robert Reed hit a shooting slump at the middle of the season. Then he came on very strong down the stretch drive. Nixon missing. Kareem. Look at that.
Great body control by the big man. We've seen that so often. He just went around Paultz and finessed it into the basket that time. Here we see the last play where Kareem got that rebound. Now watch this move. He goes right around Malone, who came over. Now look at how he just finesses it and finger rolls it up into the basket.
So to the surprise